Go.
Hello and welcome to the Game of Miles podcast, where we take a game of pitches and turn it into 1,000 miles. We are 1 week away from the fantasy football playoffs, and with me, as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Jacob Fosha.
Hello.
Our executive producer, Luke Williams.
Hello.
And also on the co-host stand, the Peanut Butter Squids. Buckle up, boys. We got a crazy one this week with playoff implications heating up. Can't wait.
All right.
Sweet. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe we are 1 week away from the fantasy playoffs. It feels like yesterday we were at Posh's house drafting. Everybody had high hopes. And here we are, only 3 people. Actually, I don't know. How many? 7 have high hopes now? The rest.
Yeah. We'll be 6.
people.
We'll be 6 officially, but 7 have high hopes right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And we will get into that in just a little bit. But starting off, as always, we want to give our fearless leader, the best commish in the history of the league, his time to shine and give us any announcements, updates, or anything. Mr. Commish, what do you got?
Thank you for those kind words, Spelly. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for hosting a wonderful Mansgiving. We appreciate the hospitality. Great crowd this year, only missing Maury and Jim. One day, I do believe we will have the entire squad at Mansgiving, which will be a good day for not only us, but for the world. Other than that, you know, not much to say besides the playoffs are coming up. This is where things go wrong for the league. This is where people go AWOL. People get accused of cheating. So my best, people don't want to do rule changes after they lose the playoff game. So my duty is I'm going to keep everyone in line this year. So, or do my best. So if you have opinions, we're a free league. Say what you want, but most likely things aren't going to change. So but if it makes you feel better, do what you got to do.
Yeah, I'll hop in and say maybe let's go back to the age-old principle, ELE. Everybody love everybody.
Yep.
And we don't have to threaten to quit. We don't have to threaten people's families and lives.
We don't have to threaten to go home early for Mansgiving, Grant.
Yeah.
And they try to play it off.
Yeah, that's another thing. Grant got a shop back, so he's happy. So
he's happy. I want a video of him using it. I don't even believe he knows how to use it.
Well, we found out it's his sister shot back, and I'm not going to get into the money, but it's we all know where that's at. Anyways,
yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, we've had some very high tension situations in the past with the playoffs. So
we'll be keeping an eye on the players being dropped. I know that has been an issue in the past. People not knowing they can use the waiver wire or using it and not be able to. It's been a thing. So my commission will keep an eye on that as well.
Just for clarity, everybody, once your team is out, don't do anything.
Don't move.
Leave it alone.
And the fact that we're in year 10 and we still have to go over this is just mind-boggling, but here we are.
Yeah.
It's just a PSA.
We'll see. I think last year went off without anything major going on.
I think so too.
But it gets better as the years go on. But I know in the past there's been some serious problems. So we'll do our best to keep everyone in line, keep everyone happy, and crown a new champion.
Maybe.
Perfect.
Or crown an old champion again.
With the way the ratio has been, well, it's probably going to be a current champion.
Could be, yeah.
No, but that's all I got.
Okay.
All right.
Love it. We're going to go right into the playoff projections. Different situations. We have our mastermind Charlie Day over here. just corkboard string to post-it note type of scenarios going on. So I'm just going to turn it over to Willie, and we're just going to dig into it. Willie, what do you got for us?
Okay, so let me get my screen up here to the proper stuff. Get us all on here. Okay, I got us set now. So you guys can see that, and for hopefully you guys have pulled up the website. So I'm up top. No surprise, we have Sweatpant Bone Dogs, 11-2. You know, clinch the 1 seed, clinch the bye. Nobody has a chance. So that's where he is. He's stuck there, right? So, and put in another powerhouse performance. He was ending the season first in points for. So, you know, pretty wild. Killed it. No surprise. On to people that can actually have something change. So Rich moved up to the number 2 slot. Number 2 slot there.
But he has clinched a playoff berth, right?
So yeah, so the divisions are over.
Got it.
All divisions and division champions are set. Now it's seeding. So it's going to be between Rich. So Rich, right there. We got Spencer and Harmon all have clinched their division, and they're all 9-4.
Yep.
So what we have right now, if Rich wins, he'll stay at 2 because he's already at 2. He owns the tiebreaker.
So sorry, Rich plays Spencer.
Correct. Rich plays Spencer. Yeah. He does already have a win over Spencer, so that means. That whoever wins that game is going to be 10-4 and has the tiebreaker over Harmon. So whoever wins that game gets a bye between those two.
Love it. Okay, that breaks it down pretty good.
Yeah, so that makes it easy. The loser of that game will be the 3 seed if Harmon loses, and then if Harmon wins, the loser of Rich and Spencer will be the 4 seed.
Easy enough. Let's see who Harmon plays.
So yeah, Harmon's is pretty simple. It's if he wins, he's the 3 seed.
Playing Adam.
Yeah. So if Harmon wins,
who Adam just beat him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my God, he did. They play each other again in 14.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many duplicate. Let's not even get into scheduling.
Well, anyway, next year we can worry about scheduling, but right now let's worry about this.
Yeah. So interesting. So there's a good chance that Harmon beats. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to just guess. So yeah.
Can Fathom do it 2 weeks? Can you do it 2 weeks in a row?
The important thing here is Harmon cannot get a bye. He will have to play next week. He will either be the 3 seed or the 4 seed. It just depends on if he wins or if he loses. The only person that can get a bye is the winner of Rich and Spencer will get the bye. So that is what it looks like for division winners, seeds 1 through 4. 5 and 6 gets wild. I had a chance to lock up the number
5
spot.
5, yeah.
And man, really painful loss last night by 0.7 or 0.8. I don't remember the exact amount there, but man, that touchdown with 3 seconds to go. And then, of course, I had the kicker who kicked the extra point, and I was like, maybe that will be enough. And then once the scores finally came in, I was still losing by like 0.7 or something like that. So brutal bad beat. But hey, what are you going to do?
Dude.
Yeah, when do stat corrections come out? That would be an all-time.
Yes. They probably already came out.
Yeah, if like the kick. I don't know. If the kick was.
Let's look.
If the kick was like 1 yard further, I would win. Like if there happened to be a field goal that was 30 yards instead, or if that pass was, I guess the pass wouldn't. Yeah, the pass would 0.1. So if maybe that last play was 1 less yard passing, then that would adjust it. But it doesn't. For right now, let's go with what it says.
Right. I'm just.
If there's a
playing
stat
devil's-
correction, then I will.
Well, we'll just. Yeah,
Well,
if there's a
I
stat
mean-
correction, you'll win. I mean, the only and then
I'll say
it's
this.
all- So
If there is a stat correction, the playoffs are locked. Jake is the 6. I am the 5.
yeah,
There is no
But-
way that could change.
I don't think
So
always.
that
No.
being said, because I lost by 0.7 or whatever it was, I don't think there's a stat that's going to come out that's going to change 0.7. That would be 7 yards different on a rush or something like that. It's not going to happen.
True.
So right now we have, if I lose, if I win, I'm in. If Jake wins, he is in. So let's look at those two teams. Okay. If
So
either
you
of
are
us,
playing-
This is like March Madness, like waiting to see if you get in the
yeah.
playoffs or
So
the bracket.
if we win, we're in. You know, that's what we got. If I lose, right now the math comes out to, so the issue is, if I lose, Grant and I will split season because he's the random team that I play twice. Then we also both have a 2-2 divisional record, which is the next tiebreaker. So we'll go to points 4. So if I lose, I currently have a 40.56 pad. If I lose by let's say I lose by 20, I would still get into the playoff because my points 4 would be more than Grant. I have to lose.
and I would still get in
Correct, because you have the tiebreaker over Grant.
over Grant. Yes.
Even though you would have the same record. You would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So if I lose by 45.55 or less, I will make the playoffs. If I lose by 40.57, 5-6 would be a push, and then we're in real. I don't even want to.
we're in trouble. We're in trouble as a league at
Yeah.
that point.
But
There's gonna have to
so
be
if I
some
lose
decisions
Let's
made.
say I lose by 42, which is possible because I played Grant in the championship game a few years ago, and he beat my bench and starters combined with his starter. So these blowouts do happen. So if I lose by that much, and Posh also loses, well, if Posh also wins, then I would be out because I would lose the tiebreaker to Grant. Posh would have a better record than both Grant and I would be out. So there is that scenario that I'm out. The scenario here for Grant, Grant's only hope is that he wins by more than 40.57 and Jake loses. That would trigger, I'm going to scroll down,
Well, this is
This-
what we were talking
this
about in
scenario-
GroupMe.
is real.
This
This is a mindfuck scenario. So if Grant beats me by 40.57 or more and Posh loses, Grant will have the tiebreaker over me. I will have the tiebreaker over Posh, and Posh will have the tiebreaker over Grant, and we're in an endless circle of everybody having a tiebreaker over somebody else that would make the playoffs. So we have 3 teams, and only 2 can be in, and we have never planned for something like this before. We do not know how. I mean, I would love to hear suggestions. I would love to hear what you guys think.
My favorite part about this is last night when we were preparing this podcast, I asked Willie. I said, since he's the scenario guy, I said, "What do we do if this scenario happens?" Slim chance, but I guess it's possible. And his response was, "I don't know?" Question or period. That's all he said.
That's
And I said, "I don't know either." And so if Willie doesn't have a response to something, you know it's bad. That's all he said was, "I don't know."
so there's
it's-
I know, because I think way too much about this stuff. But so the thing is, if let's say, right, if this scenario happens, although there is a slim, Grant has to blow me out and Posh has to lose. But let's say it happens, right? You can't say Jake and I are in because Grant would say, well, I have the tiebreaker over Willie. If Jake and Grant are in, I would say I beat Jake head to head. That's not fair. And then if Grant and I get in. Poach says, well, I beat Grant head-to-head. He shouldn't be in. And then we're in this endless circle of I don't know what to do. So we actually ran into a scenario that has no solution. It is an endless loop of our.
Well, I think that potentially a solution could be, well, for future reference, we maybe add a fourth tiebreaker, right?
We're
And so
gonna
that's
have to.
doomsday prepper situation. Now, if this situation
We got
doesn't
to
come
vote
to
on
fruition,
it for sure, but we need one.
if this situation doesn't come to fruition, we'll leave the tiebreakers as is. We don't need to do that, but we potentially could need to have an emergency tiebreaker put in place. And what else do they do in the NFL as far as tiebreakers?
Yeah, so I know that
Flip a coin.
I know. Well, that is an actual tiebreaker
That
in
is
the NFL.
It is.
It is the final tiebreaker is a coin flip, but they don't really run into this because it gets
Well,
into
it's hard with 3 teams. Sorry.
it gets into because they have conferences. We don't have conferences, so it gets into your conference record, and then it goes to your non-conference record. They also do like.
We could do like non-divisional record.
Well, so
Like
the
if you're
other,
in my division and it's super easy and you're just cleaning up and I don't know. It's just an idea.
they also do a like a strength of schedule. So
Yeah.
you look at every single team that you played, total their wins and losses. So like I would total my division's wins and losses twice. Does that make sense? You know what I'm getting at.
But you just do your
It
whole
could
schedule,
be.
right?
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
So we
there's a
could do
bunch.
that. I can double check the NFLs, but I think that's pretty far down the road. Since we don't have conferences, that's probably where it's headed.
Well, the only problem is, so we need something potentially down the road, but like anything that is suggested now is going to be biased because anybody can do the
Well,
calculations.
I don't know.
Right?
I haven't done the research.
We'll wait until if it happens.
Yeah.
We'll just have to.
I will say
we'll figure something out.
I haven't done the research, so I'm not suggesting something that that should be done.
No, I know you're not.
I'm not trying
just
to
saying
We're
somebody-
just spitballing here. Yeah, we're just spitballing.
But I do think maybe that's the route to go. It is a lot of math, but it wouldn't be that hard to do. You could just look at their schedule and look at, well, okay, they played this team and their record. If you total all the teams that you played's wins and losses, whoever has the most, but that could tie also.
You know what I think it should be? I just thought of this. Sorry to cut you off, Willie.
Sure.
I think the team with the highest points against.
That's what I was going to say highest score, but yeah, that's
Well,
another good.
So you could argue.
We always
should
say
be
points
the-
against is the most important.
That's true. You could say, yeah, you're saying the highest points against, but that's out of your control. You could also say if this sort of three-way scenario happens, that it defaults to points for. So whoever scored the most points, that seems.
I don't want to do points against because I'm the third out of those 3 right now. So I know we won't do that.
But you get what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
Like, then
You
it's,
could just say everything cancels out in points for top 2 scorers.
which could also be
Yeah.
crazy if this scenario does happen and we wanted to go with points for. If you look here, I am 5th in points for, Grant is 6th in points for, and Jake is 7th. So it would be a wild ride. Now, that being said, Grant would have to
could
pass
change.
me on points for in order for him to even have our tiebreaker and this scenario happen. So it would be between me and Jake for points for. So who knows? But
How
yeah,
far away are you guys? Just curious.
it's a weird scenario.
It's going to change after next week.
1351 for Jake and
Wait, are you talking points for or points against?
points for.
Oh, yeah, I'm up
Willie's-
in that.
And you're 1351 and
I'm like
Willie is
1360.
1360.
Yeah.
Oh well,
So-
Grant's
So that would-
1320.
But
That
Grant
would
will
come
have
into-
to. This scenario only happens if Grant passes me. So then it would be between
Yeah.
you and I. So, anyways, it's just something
Wow.
funny that actually happened, and of course we're unprepared for it. So
Next weekend's going to be
what are you gonna
wild.
do? Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. So, anyways,
I'm excited.
the last thing, the rest of the teams clinched the Squid Bowl. I don't really think we need to talk about them. Sorry.
Well, let's talk about all those good teams for a while. No, I'm kidding.
We're still good teams.
Maury did end up 4th in points for and did not make the playoffs. That's confirmed.
Dude, poor Maury.
So, And the other stat I wanted to throw out, Harmon did end the season 11th in points for, and is
Potentially a 2 seed.
no, he can only be a 3 seed, but he has won his division and could be as high as 3 or 4. But yeah, it's
Harmon.
just kind of wild.
Commissioner apology coming to the playoff teams. I said that it will probably the champion's probably going to be someone who's won the championship already. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, the only champion in the playoffs is Scott.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless
There's
Grant,
6 champions.
unless Grant makes it in. Grant's
Well,
also a champion.
yeah. Well, if it was set today. So I
set
apologize
today,
to
yes.
all of the people who are in the playoffs. I thought there was more champions in there.
I have played in a championship. Rich has played in a championship. Harmon has played in a championship. So there are 3.
I think I played in
second-place
champion. I think
teams.
Scott beat me for his first champion. I could be way wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I think I played in it. We'd have to go back and look. But I'm just saying people who have won. I thought. Anyways.
But that is crazy. There are 6 champions.
All right, I'm gonna move our camera
Scott,
back.
me, Kyle, Grant, Landon.
That's it.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, there's a lot of 2 times.
We were 1 team away from having no
No.
champions in the playoffs.
Let's go back. Really.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to spend some time talking about maybe what we think is going to happen squid wise?
Sure.
So Kyle, he did end up in. I'm going to go to the bottom for the favorites here, but anybody can do it. I mean, Morris, I think, confirmed he's fine. I don't know. His team he's 4th in points for, but his team does seem to choke when they need it the most. So I guess I don't know. He would be a 3-time squid. Grant, if he does end up there, 7th in points for, would be the overwhelming public. Everybody in the public wants to see him be the squid.
Oh yeah.
Adam, 9th in points for.
He's also in the running for public wanting him to be squid too.
Yeah.
Just because
everybody wants
he is
the Grant
squid.
Adams Squid Bowl. I mean, let's be real.
Oh my God, that'd be the ultimate squid bowl. We'd have to have a
We'd have a party.
watch party at Jake's house if we do that. We're gonna have to.
right,
and I'm
Jake.
making Fathom come. He has to come.
Oh yeah.
I will go get him.
Right at the end of the games, once the scores are solidified, they just have to go out and run laps outside your house to do the beer mile. We'll map it off.
Yeah, we'll go to the field and make them run squares in the field. The farmer gonna come by. So what the hell are you guys doing?
I think Adam is the front runner to win.
I do too.
I mean,
I
it's
do.
probably a popular opinion, but just looking at his team, I don't know.
Unless he does what he did against Jim last week, which.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Anybody,
But like
Well, that's
right,
the thing. If
but
you have
next
one good game,
next
you're
week, like he's projected. Well, he has a running back on bye, but he's not projected. He's projected 72. I know projections don't mean anything, but it's just
I will say
stat-wise.
one thing that is like Spelly, you did end in 1st in points against, but you were 8th in points for. So you're closing in on middle of the pack. That's not terrible.
Spelly's team's been stupid scary the last 2 weeks.
And I will say Landon has obviously played well. He just beat me and scored a lot. I don't remember the exact 110. So
yeah, if Fields goes off for him.
yeah, I
and
think I
Paul-
like him to get out early. Kyle, I would also love for Kyle to be the first 3-time because he always talks about his championships, and I would love for him to have more squids than championships.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I don't know who said it, but they said Kyle is the person who won state in 1972 and still talks about it in 2022.
And
check out my
Story,
ring.
He was in high school in 1972.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of the teams, like you kind of have to look, like if the goal of the Squid Bowl, the Squid playoffs, is to just go off for 1 week.
Sure.
It's all about matchups, and it's all about players that could go big, right? So we just talked about Lang. He has Justin Fields and Pollard, like 2 guys that could get you like 30 plus and 20 plus respectively.
Yeah, big
Like
time.
my team, I have Jalen Hurts and Amon St. Brown. Like these guys could get like 50 in a game combined easily or more. Like the teams that I don't see that happening with are Adam and Kyle. Even Maury, like he has the name power. I mean, Chubb, Patrick Mahomes, like all these guys, they could go off. So I'm even Grant if he's in there. I hate to say it, but like Josh Allen, Diggs, Sanders can go off. So like I look for the guys that have players that could have boom or bust levels, and if you just need to get boom for 1 week,
Yep.
it's hard when you're plateauing at 100.
It's going to take one good game from the Bills and Grant's out if he does end up going to the squid playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't see that. I mean, Adam, he's like Jared Goff, Montgomery. He has Dalvin Cook, but he hasn't been like, he's a top 10 running back, but not amazing. But the rest of his team is buns. I don't know.
Buns.
Yeah.
Buns. Even Kyle, I know he's had some good weeks. He's been scoring over 100, but Trevor Lawrence, Stevenson, Jeff Wilson, Godwin.
Wilson.
Olave is good. Christian, I don't know why he doesn't play Christian Watson every single week. That blows my mind.
Kyle, you're a boner. You play
totally
your
bust.
power scores.
So I've been in the squid playoffs enough to know you just need some guys that can just go off. If you're looking to just get a collective effort to break 100, it's going to be a long playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Dude, this is fun.
We only got
It's gonna
a
be
couple
fun.
minutes
It will
left.
be fun.
So we got to wrap it up a little bit here.
Yeah. Well, I think the playoffs have given everybody enough to think about. I'm excited for a week full of arguing, and I cannot wait for. Is this going to be posted tonight, Willie?
I'll post it tonight right after this. I'm going to make sure it's all edited well, and then I got to make sure the audio's synced and everything. And yeah, I'll post it, and then I would love to see what GroupMe has to say about our doomsday scenario that we have.
Mr. Commish, hold strong.
Dude.
Let's not overreact until the situation presents itself, and then we'll have.
Oh yeah, no. It's like I said, it's gotta happen first before we panic. But we're gonna have to have an emergency league meeting if it happens because it's uncharted territory.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be wild.
So
we're gonna have
a league-wide Zoom call.
Well, the nice part, one thing we can do is have you, Posh, me, and Grant sit out and have everybody else vote, and then that would be an odd number, so there would be a clear winner in a vote on what the tiebreaker should be.
Yeah, again, I worry about potential. People could do calculations, and then you can vote with a biased opinion. Like if everybody wants Grant, as much as I want to screw Grant over, that wouldn't be fair to him if everybody knows this is the one tiebreaker.
Hey, if that's what people want to vote for because Grant liked to talk all year, then that's on them. But we can do a blind
Willie
vote.
just wants to cut.
Okay, I'm gonna put a pause on that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll let next week play out, and like I said,
if you guys can't be, no, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm so competitive. I'm gonna beat Landon, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you guys can't be nice, the bottom two teams in the league are gonna get into the playoffs.
Yeah, so
me and Kyle.
I'm gonna just take care of business from my team, and then we'll just see what happens.
Yeah,
so
Willie, give your team.
Oh, we are out of time. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for joining us.